you know, there never seems to be enough time to get anything done, so you kind of got to take advantage of those days you have off work and get the things you need to get done. And that's what I'm doing today, working in the garden. Hey guys, welcome back to another Slightly Rednecked video. Again, my name's Chris, and if you're not familiar with this channel, I help you to produce your own meat, eggs, and vegetables from your backyard, your balcony, your deck, your garage, or even a spare room in your house if that's the way you want to do it. Like I said, today is a work in the garden day. It's actually the day after Christmas, December 26th, and man, we got a beautiful day out here. It's like in the mid 60s, so it's not very often that you get these kinds of days in the wintertime. But I guess it's all that global warming, who knows? I'm being a little sarcastic there, but anyway, I'm going to take advantage of it. I've got a couple of problems here. You may be able to see my landscape fabric. I don't have enough staples in it, so it's kind of blown up, so I've got to get that laid back out and get it stapled back down. I've got a truck full of compost over here to unload on the garden beds themselves. One of them's already uncovered, one of them's not, so got to finish kind of preparing these. If you guys have been following videos, you know I did this garden bed a while back, and the landscape fabric is just blown up off of it. So I'm going to go through and staple this all down. So somebody got me some new garden staples for Christmas, and these are great. These are my favorite garden staples. Nice, big. They're not the cheap ones you usually buy at garden centers. Nice, big gauge, heavy duty staples. They do a great job. I just didn't have enough of them. So this is a box of 200 garden staples. That should do it. I'll put a link to these. Actually, I'll leave them in my Amazon shop. So you can go down below, click on the Amazon shop link. You can go there, you can see all the products I use and recommend. This will be listed in there too if you're interested or if you need some good garden staples. These are great ones. So anyway, I got to get on it and get this garden fabric laid out. A couple of mistakes I made. Excuse me, when I first laid this out, I laid the garden fabric over the beds, and then I laid the garden fabric over the walkways, which was a mistake because that means the walkway was overlapping the bed garden fabric. And at the time I thought, well, that'll help hold it in place, and it did. But at the same time, I've got to pull up all the garden fabric over the beds in the fall and the winter to prepare the beds for spring planting, you know, get some compost on them, some rabbit manure and some of those kinds of things. And that meant I had to pull up all the other garden fabric with it and restaple it down. I used a lot of the same staples to staple, you know, to hold down both layers. So that means I was short on staples. Anyway, long story short, I got to go through and staple down. First of all, I'm going to do the walkways, and then I'll come back and staple down this bed, and then I'll get on to moving to trying to prepare that bed. And hopefully I don't run out of daylight. It's still, day's pretty short this time of year, so hopefully I get all this done before it gets dark on me. So I better get to it. All right, so got my, what's it called, landscape fabric all laid out on the beds. The one that was already done, and in the walkways, got that all stapled down. And I went ahead and spread some leaves out, some dead leaves over the top of this bed. I like lots of organic matter in my garden beds. Those will break down quite a bit by spring and won't hurt anything. So spread a bunch of dead leaves out over the top of this. They'll help retain moisture and stuff. Now I'm going through with some rabbit manure and just sprinkling it over the top of these dead leaves. Once I get that done, start unloading the truck full of compost that I have and put a layer of compost over the top of this. So we'll see, again, how far I can get done before sun goes down and I run out of daylight. What are you doing? Eating okra plants, buddy? What are you doing? Oh, I sure wish I could teach the dog to work a shovel. I went down to the city compost facility earlier today and loaded up a truck full of compost, or at least as much as I thought I would need. And that's what we're going to be spreading over the beds. Problem with city compost, sometimes you get some trash in there. It's not that big a deal though. Whoops. All right, so I got my compost laid out over this bed right here. I'll need to come back and put the landscape fabric back over it, but I'm gonna do that later because I'm running out of daylight. I still got a bunch of compost in the truck and I don't wanna dump it somewhere and then have to load it back up again to do this bed. So I'm gonna try to get this bed, the compost laid out on it. I'm probably not gonna lay rabbit manure out on it because like I said, I'm running out of daylight. I can come back and put the rabbit manure on top of the compost later. It's fine. It's not gonna matter which order it goes in. I just had it ready earlier. That's why I did it on the other bed. So what I'm gonna do is pull up this landscape fabric. I got all the, the okra that was growing through here, got most of that pulled up. One plant I couldn't quite pull up, so probably gonna have to take I'll figure it out when I get to it. And then, let's see, I had a cucumber cage right here, moved it off, got everything off this basically, so it's ready to pull up. So that's what I gotta do now is just get this piece of landscape fabric off this bed, lay some leaves down and throw the compost over the top of it, and hope I do it before it gets dark. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how well it goes. Well, I did it, just barely. I think I beat, well, let's see, what time is it? 4:44, so I beat the sun by about 45 minutes probably, just barely, but I got it done. Well, at least the compost laid down. I still got to lay rabbit manure over that middle bed and put the landscape fabric back down, but the bulk of it's done. Got the compost all unloaded from the truck, so that's a relief. Now I just got a little bit of cleanup to do here, and I'm done for the day. Like I said, never seems to be enough time to get things done, so you always got to take advantage of the time that you got off to get it done, and that's what I spent today doing. Maybe tomorrow I'll finish it up, but I don't know. I can wait a week or two if I need to. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for coming along with me on a day off where I had to work, and thank you guys so much for watching. As always, God bless.